News segment time. Your comments. All right. Well, what's going on here? Shh. Anyways, let's pull up the old comment section here. This is the wrong channel. We're at 506 subscribers. Blah 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 blah. Are there any on the science channel? I thought there were. Oh, okay. There's this one. What holds atoms together? Reasoner commented, my atheist friend told me it was just UHU. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Stop messing around with that. That was the whole comment.
My
atheist friend told me it was UHU. I don't think it's supposed to be. I don't think you should look that up.
Why?
I think it's a hentai thing. You really should not look that up.
Then turn that off.
I don't want that on my computer. That's why I'm telling you not to look it up, regardless of whether it's here. UHU, I think, is a hentai thing. You really shouldn't look it up.
You think so?
Yeah. You remember UWU? UWU? UWU?
Ultra high temperature processing.
No. That's not what it... No.
No?
It's no. Well, how is that UHU?
UH... Oh, U. I did T. It says an alternative spelling of uh-oh.
Yeah.
Let's go to slang. Mild spelling of uh-oh.
Anyways, Reasoner, your comment doesn't make any sense, so... Moving on from your comment, the gaming channel's got comments. Your comment is boring, irrelevant, and I'm sorry.
Unsolved homicide unit.
I don't think that's what they're referring to. Okie dokie.
Images?
Killing the Wither in Minecraft 101. Boop boop boo doo. For the bare necessities, simple bare necessities. Killing the Wither, Minecraft 101.
I don't see anything related to hentai, but I don't want to type the word hentai afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I think it's similar to UWU.
UWU?
UWU? Do you remember that? PewDiePie, this old PewDiePie thing? It was an old meme?
No.
Anyways, it's a... I don't know. Maybe it's not hentai, but it's not useful for anything that humanity needs. Anyways, moving on. Killing the Wither, Minecraft 101. The water bottle commented, "World is progressing nicely. Thank you, thank you. Now that we've successfully killed the Wither, and we can do it again. The hardest part is literally just getting the damn skulls."
Did he launch fireworks again?
What?
Scroll down. Mr. Beast. Did he? Oh, that's old. Last year.
I'm not surprised that it's getting views again and getting recommended. Okay, next video.
Actually, he highlighted, he alluded to another video. Man spends 100 days in the house.
Yeah, I already heard about that one before
Oh,
I
really?
made this
From
video.
where?
Safety Third Podcast.
They're going to have a person stay inside of a circle.
Yeah.
For 100 days.
Yep.
That's crazy.
You really need to watch the Safety Third Podcast.
Why? Because I get inside scoops and things?
Sometimes it's also just a really good podcast.
Wait, when did you hear about that?
Thursday.
Oh, so recently. Wait, what is 100 days from now?
Well, no, because that video started back before you did the candy video.
Oh, I know. I just know.
The Candy Factory video, that was made like months ago. It's over now. The 100 Days Challenge is over.
You think so?
Yeah. Easily has to be over by now. Anyways, it's getting close. Anyways, 'cause I think the candy thing was back in like May or April.
100 days would be October 11th from today.
Yeah, and this was done a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think this was back in May or April.
So I think the video will come out like what, August, September?
No, it'll come out before that. Well, I don't know. If it starts in April, it'll be out before then. If it started in May, August or September. Long time to wait for it, because it's gonna be a really good video. Because Save Your Third podcast alluded to some of the stuff the guy does.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
I don't. Do you want me to spoil it?
No.
You gotta just watch the podcast. It's good. It's worth your time. Base improvements. Teach you Minecraft number 10. The Waterball commented, "You said the word tree." I'm not gonna say it now though.
Say the word tree.
Tree. The whole thing was I don't like tree
Why?
because you don't need them in Minecraft.
Oh.
But you don't need them if you build in the right places. I don't build in the right places. At least I haven't for the past several. For the last several instances. Now, I will have to build a tree production facility for my Super Flat Survival, which released Wednesday for you guys. I still have to record that at some point. Anyways, Global Warming Bedrock Let's Play 34. The Waterball commented, "You should only expand the world when you have to, so it's like super dense like New York." Yeah, I'm running into snags with not being able to expand the world. It's getting really annoying. Yeah, so this world is a confined size. I showed you that before.
Yeah.
So, and then the beacon. Ryan Orange up. "Are you this rich?" Minecraft 102 Ryan Orange commented. "Not rich, just poor. The netherite beacon is the hardest to get." I don't remember him adding that part. He must have added... Oh, he edited it. He added it later. A little bit. The netherite beacon. I watched a guy who made a netherite beacon in hardcore mode. Basically, if you die, it deletes the world.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult. It's cruel mode from Survival Craft. And then a child died for this. Bedrock Let's Play 35. Okay, I guess I found it. I would have named it Lake personally. Lol, the video or the lake? I don't know what he was referring to, but it did get 5 views, this video. Oh man, a child died for this. That's a fantastic title. Anyways, there might be a comment on this. Otherwise, it's just the stream. No, there isn't. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So, that's all the comments. As for future of the channel, next weekend, finally, Bill and I get to, finally gonna record all these damn videos that we've been just writing and stockpiling. Do you ever finish those videos? Writing them?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't really do it much this last week on them. So I don't know where their progress is at.
So
I suppose we could finish writing and produce them all in one day or one weekend.
I don't know about writing. Anytime we tried to write something and produce it one day, we ended up. Do you remember that? I don't remember what video it was, but there was a video that we basically finished writing. I think it might have been the light video. We were up till like 2 a.m. making the video or something stupid.
Oh, sounds about right.
Yeah. It's a dangerous idea to do that, but an interesting idea. So lately I've had a bunch of I've been wanting to play a lot of Minecraft. It's all I want to do. It's all I can think about.
Yeah.
And it's just like I just got projects I want to work on, just things I want to do, and I see these videos of I'll show you this YouTuber I've been watching recently. This guy. So this is the guy that I was talking about, like a full netherite beacon. It took him like 6 months to do this. Now, granted, he wasn't working like every single day of all those months or whatever. Like, he had done that. He probably could have done it in like a month or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's just this is definitely not a project I would like to do. I couldn't pull this off. This is a lot of work for not much. It's a lot of work for just a beacon, but like a diamond beacon, I think would be it's difficult, but it would definitely be an interesting challenge. But it's just like, there's all these ideas. Like currently, I'm working on these pyramids.
Yeah.
And I'm currently flattening out and leveling this area, but it takes time, and it's like, I see these YouTubers do these projects and these videos, you know, they publish it once a week or whatever. But I'm like, they had 40 hours to work on this. You know, this is their job.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's like, I have to balance. I don't have 40 hours a week to play.
Nope.
So, you know, it took me, 30 episodes to build a damn skyscraper, or 30 episodes to build a donut. Well, yeah, I don't have... I wasn't really too inspired during those 30 weeks it took me to do that. But at the same time, it's like... but at the same time, it's just, I don't have 40 hours. I have 30 minutes sometimes, make the video, that's it.
Yeah.
And the water bottle, we're talking about something, and he's like, why don't you go, full effort? If you want to do this, you got to go full effort. And I'm like, when I get home from work, I don't want to do anything sometimes, and to sit down and to do this kind of stuff.
You just need to take a week off from work and just pound out videos.
But see, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't?
That's because, it just doesn't. They're not going to be good.
Oh, you don't?
Because I'm going to be forcing myself to work on them.
Oh, so you need inspiration so you can.
Yeah, like the iCarly sock video.
You need inspiration.
That video is, honest to God, probably scientifically.
Is it doing good?
No, but scientifically wise, it's crap. It wasn't done properly, but I was limited by what I had or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a good video.
It's alright, yeah.
Because when you look at what makes a good video, right? Okay.
That.
So we've got an interesting question: is the butter sock a good weapon? So that's the if you've watched iCar, you know what that is.
Windy.
And then we've got a good intro. We get right into it. Here's what we're doing. We're testing butter sock. And here's all the things we're gonna do. Here's how we're gonna do this. Now, obviously, it could have been better energy or whatever.
Mr. Beast style, say, "I rented out and scream."
Yeah.
I got a butter with.
Obviously, in this one the audio isn't great, but again, it was February. It was 50-mile-an-hour winds outside.
Yeah.
There's not much I could do.
Then you may be thinking, why? Why would you test it?
You just need to say, "I filled a sock full of butter and I'm gonna whack at a melon." What I am.
That's a good TikTok.
Tundra. Well, this is probably the last day it's gonna be.
And then after the first hit, the video's over.
No, I like this. I like this though.
Sheep here. Welcome back to the frozen tundra. Well, this is probably the last day it's gonna be.
It was
windy and cold. And then it'll just be windy.
Yeah, that's true. It was. No, it wasn't. The next week. No, this was. This was the last, cold, really cold day.
This was in February?
Yeah.
February?
Yeah. This was one of the, last very cold days, if I remember correctly. Because the next one was the banana one, and it was, 60 degrees and sunny. It was, March.
Oh, I saw that video.
Which one? Oh, the overnight in the most remote camp on Earth.
It looked interesting.
Was it?
It was alright. She goes to the Arctic Circle.
I think her videos have definitely fallen off compared to her old ones.
It was alright. I was just looking to see how far out there she was, but I do miss some of the. She did have some interesting science videos back in the day. I haven't really seen a lot of her newer stuff. Actually, she did one on electric cars versus hydrogen cars. That was kind of interesting.
It was. You can't trust it though.
Oh, I can't?
Mm-mm.
Why?
Because it was sponsored by Toyota,
Oh.
who has dumped all their money into hydrogen.
So at least you have a biased opinion on hydrogen.
That's a useless opinion. No, Linus Tech Tips actually, they did a video about hydrogen versus battery powered cars.
Oh, yeah?
And it was around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Toyota provided them with the car,
Yeah.
but they didn't take their money because they wanted to be able to compare it and say whatever they want.
Oh.
They're like, we'll use the car, but we want to be able to say what we want.
So we don't want your money.
Yeah. You know, they did do a big, shill at the end talking about how hydrogen's going to be better for semis.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was like, what? No, it doesn't make sense. But, but then I thought about it, I'm like, I guess in the context of what they're saying right now, yes. Hydrogen makes sense right now. Now, if we're talking in the future when battery technology is completely different than what it is now,
here's one thing I'm going to tell you about battery technology. It progresses very slowly. We've been working on batteries since the early 1800s, and this is the best we got. In 200 years, this is the best we got. Something you know about battery technology, it progresses very slowly. So, in 10 years, it's not going to be much different. I'm telling you that right now.
But, I don't think we were investing as much as we could have been.
We've been investing in batteries for the long... People thought there was no need for carburetor engines because electric vehicles came out before gas-powered vehicles, if you didn't know that. Except as soon as gas-powered vehicles were introduced into the market, people are like, holy shit, what are we wasting our time with electricity for? It took 100 years for electricity to catch up and even introduce itself and say, hey, remember me? And gas is still blowing it out of the water.
No, but if you looked at money being invested into batteries versus money being invested into the internal
they don't need to invest a whole bunch of money into internal combustion engines because it already is better than batteries.
No, but the money invested is still larger than it was in electrics for that 100 years.
Yes, because they realized it's going to be a long process.
I don't.
It's going to be. I'm telling you that right now.
I don't think so. Yes, I do believe that it develops slowly, but I think that's because we just weren't investing it as much as we should have and could have been. Had we given it the same amount of energy, if we give it the same amount of drive and money that we did for the internal combustion engine, I guarantee you we would be much further along than we are now.
The science wasn't also there yet. We have learned so much about chemistry and bonds and all that. The technology was not there at the time to help it flourish.
But we would have developed the technology along the way.
There was no need to, because as soon as gas was introduced, there was no need to.
That's what I'm saying.
So
if we had decided to just keep going down the electric path and invested the money that we did into into gasoline, had we invested that into electric, they could have been a lot further.
I don't know if I necessarily agree. A lot further. I mean, yes, we'd be further. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say a lot further. It's a slow progress.
I think we would have reached peak lithium battery long time ago then.
But here's the thing about lithium. It's not any more better than lead acid and NiCad. The capacity of lithium is about equal. It's not that much better.
Well,
actually, the cost that you save to make it lightweight doesn't even make it that much better. Because lithium is lighter, but they're trying to put it in aircrafts. But it does not give you there's no big benefit of having a lithium-based aircraft versus lead acid. The amount of money the amount of weight you save versus the capacity you gain is not there. There is almost
no. in that kind of application. But in cars, you have to use lithium. You cannot use anything else. The energy density is not there.
In what? Lead acid or what?
Yes. Lead acid's too dense. It's too
It's
heavy.
But I'm telling you right now, the capacity gained from lithium is not that much better.
But it's so much lighter that it overcomes that. If
it was so much lighter, it's not a huge difference though.
If it wasn't, I really think you're underselling it here, because why would they be bothering with lithium if lead acid was just fine?
I wonder if it's cheaper to make. I don't know why.
It's not.
It's also the lead. People don't like work because people don't like working with lead.
It's not the lead. It's the lightweight nature of the lithium battery.
How much lightweight is it? I don't know.
It's incredibly light. They were talking, when we're talking about cars and batteries and distance, you have to build the battery lighter and lighter and lighter.
Yes.
To hold more energy, to make it more energy dense.
Yes.
Lead acid yes, it can hold the same amount of energy, but it's so much heavier, like significantly heavier.
Let's look at it. I don't know. I'm looking at it because I don't know.
Lithium ion battery energy density.
Is that what I want to look up?
Yes, because it'll give you watts per gram.
Watts per kilogram. Okay, 260, and then 25
to 35 watts per kilogram.
So 100. No, that's 10 times, and then so this is almost double that I can do. But then there's another one.
Well, yeah, but they literally just developed this. It's brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the cutting edge. It's
yeah. Oh no, it's still in the works. I know. So it's 10 times.
Lithium is more than 10 times. Oh yeah, 10 times. Yep.
10 times.
It's actually a little bit more than 10 times, but 10 times.
Yeah.
The energy density.
Yeah.
So you said a little bit. 10 times is a lot.
Is it though?
When we're talking about a car, I can get 10 times the amount of energy with the same amount of mass. That's 10 more miles.
But the cost isn't lithium a lot more? How expensive is it though? Is lithium a lot more expensive to work with?
They've overcome that.
Have they?
Yeah. Tesla spits out batteries so damn fast that it doesn't even matter.
You're saying that, but like, the cost of driving an electric vehicle is about equal to driving a gas-powered vehicle. Because my manager was doing the math, and he said, even with current gas prices, he does not, cutting out all the gas, charging for free, does not really make that big of a dent. Because
it's not
because they're about $10,000 more expensive than traditional gas powered, but you spend about $10,000 in gas over the lifespan that you have the car. Not to mention the batteries go bad after what? How many years? 5 years?
Well, no, I mean they're hollering on these Teslas 300,000 miles on the battery.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is that what kind of conditions? Is it a lot of hot and cold? Because that's damaging to a battery.
They don't mention it. They just say
if they're driving in California, that's a whole different ball game.
Either way, if it doesn't. Right now. That's right now.
Yes.
That's because they're not government. That's because. So there was I've seen a whole video on electric cars. There's a whole economics thing you have to understand behind this, because green energy there's a hump it has to get over.
Yeah.
And that hump is that it has to be cheaper than the alternative.
Yeah.
The only way to currently achieve that is with crap tons of government subsidies.
Yeah.
But the issue is the competition is constantly trying to get that to not happen. Because they don't want I told our uncle this weekend.
Yeah.
You've got a small fraction of people who they've got about 15, 20 more years worth of them working, quote unquote, being CEOs or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're being asked by the government to switch to something completely different, something completely new. And they're running the math and they're like, I'm not going to make any money on this but before I retire.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend more money, I'm never going to see the fruits of my labor. And then they did the math and say, what if I just pay off some congressmen and women to vote against it? They found out it's a lot cheaper to do that and to then just keep doing what they're doing than it is to listen to the government and switch over.
Yeah. Because
they want to keep making money. 10, 15, 20, I don't know anymore though. The U.S. recently is kind of, oh God, we just lit with Roe v. Wade being reversed. We're 70 years back in the past. Anyways, the world needs the U.S. to move on, and the U.S. just took like 10 steps back, and it's so frustrating. So I don't even know anymore. Honest to God, we're gonna just be praying that car companies can lower the costs of electric vehicles because the government's isn't gonna help us anymore.
No, I don't know.
But right now, yes, they're about the same. Gas is still technically cheaper.
Yeah. But
given enough time, given enough government subsidies, electric will be cheaper. Battery technology is progressing faster than ever because it's getting more money than ever. Had we been giving the same amount of money we put in internal combustion engines, all the time and money we spent to developing horizontal drilling and all that crap, if we'd done that to develop, batteries, I guarantee you we'd be a lot further ahead.
The technology was not there in the 1900s.
Because no one thought to try and make it there.
No, what I'm saying though is that, we didn't have the useful skills and tools to work with. Nobody knew where to start. We know where to start. We kind of know where to start now, but just because of how science has progressed. But nobody knew where to start because the vocabulary wasn't there.
That's because there weren't enough people working on it.
Well, because they were all doing their own things, Think about radar and all these other great things that have came in the 20th century.
Came from war. We only developed radar because we needed it to defeat the Nazis.
Yes, but radar, the ideas were there before that, though. Because that's all relativity. That was early 1900 stuff.
Right. I really think that you're
science
looking too
and math was not there for batteries yet.
I know it wasn't there. But I guarantee you, had we had more people working on it, you would have developed it faster.
Well, obviously, but there's a lot of things that had to have taken place, though.
But
you're not looking at I don't think you're looking at this equally, because there's a lot of things that had to have taken place in order for us to be there. It's like
what? What? Mention it. Tell me these things.
So, for example, the way that chemistry and the bonds and all that work, this is all, that's like what, 50s, 60s? Like even like computers and stuff. That was all in the 40s and 50s.
Right, yeah, but you know how many people were working on semiconductors?
A lot.
What?
They had an entire team working on a computer. An entire team working on building this big giant room.
Well, okay, computers were developing as fast as they could. That I don't think. I mean, yeah, obviously you could probably throw more money at the problem, but the computers developed as fast as they could. But I guarantee you, chemistry did not develop as fast as it could have.
You don't think so?
No. I guarantee you, had they had a more focused goal, because they were just doing general research. But had it been more focused, they would have come across the things they needed to figure out what makes batteries work now.
I mean, the other thing was just a simple use for it. At the time, they didn't have a need to have a super powerful battery to travel from place to place.
Right.
There was no need for it. It's like what if
Right.
It's
right.
Like, hang on.
You're proving my point.
Hang on. It's like if we'd given an airplane, to the people in the 1800s, I don't think it would have, been this great almighty thing today, because they would have had very little use for it then in order for it to progress now. So if all the technology was given in research, was given to the people in the 1900s, it would not be this great almighty thing, because they did not have the use for it back then. There was no use for it.
The plane had no use in the 1800s.
Early 1800s, before the Civil War and all that.
Okay, yes, before the Industrial Revolution.
There would have been no use for it. Or, I guess, there would have been a use, but the war is what helped things progress. The Civil War, or I guess, so in this case, it'd be World War II. That's when electricity took its next leap. So it would not be until like the 40s or 50s when batteries would start to step up, I think. In my opinion.
Right. Again, but I'm saying if the need had been there,
Yes.
had they decided to not do the internal combustion engine.
That's what I'm saying. You're not looking at it barely. All these events had to have taken place for the need to be there.
Well, no. I was trying to generate the need when I said, had we not done the internal combustion engine, the need would have been there.
Well, yeah.
That's the whole premise started because...
But somebody would have found the internal combustion.
I'm not saying whether they did. I'm saying somebody said, no, let's not do this. It's not a good idea. I'm telling you that had somebody just decided to not do the internal combustion engine, had they just said, let's keep with let's just keep working on batteries, it would have progressed.
That's your problem right there.
I know.
That is your problem.
I don't care. What I'm trying to tell you is the internal combustion engine, had they not done it, had they kept with the electric, you said the electric came before the internal combustion engine.
Because then they found internal combustion. It was like, bro.
I'm not, you're trying to bring it back into play. Leave it out. It's gone. It can't exist. There's no gasoline on Earth. There's no gasoline. It can't exist.
Okay.
Then there is a need to develop batteries.
Yeah.
And then they would have thrown the same amount of money at the problem that they did with internal combustion engines.
Yeah.
Batteries would be way further than they are now. Like, way further.
Yeah, I suppose.
You underestimate how much money was thrown into the internal combustion engine.
Because it just doesn't make sense to not put money into internal combustion engines. What, did you see what I just pulled up there?
I know. I'm just telling you, ignore it.
That's my problem. I don't want to ignore it. Because your hypothetical.
But now you're telling me you can't keep ignoring the need.
Because your hypothetical makes no sense because of that fact. Your hypothetical is a world without coal.
Gasoline.
Gasoline.
You can't turn coal in the cars. They tried. It didn't work.
A world without gasoline. I cannot imagine that. That is your problem. It's a hypothetical world.
It's very possible.
Okay, no. That is the problem, though. A hypothetical world where gasoline does not exist. Only then. But we do not live in that world.
But you said you need to look at the need. Need. Look at the need.
Yeah.
So here I am. I'm looking at the need. You just gotta leave variables out. If you can't leave variable out, you can't be open-minded.
You're ignoring variables. That's what I don't like.
That's the whole premise of freaking thought experiments. Is ignoring variables. It's like ignoring friction and air resistance.
Yes, but that only gets you so far. Because, you can't ignore air resistance and then say, let's go to the moon.
No, you're... See, now you're... Listen, I'm just telling you that had they taken the same amount of money that we put into internal combustion, which is a lot, like, it's a lot of time,
I know.
effort, and money. Had we done the batteries, I think you're drastically underestimating how much could have been done.
Yeah.
Because they would have realized, okay, well, we're kind of as far as we can get right now. And then the CEO would have been like, why? And they're like, well, we're not sure how these materials work. We don't know how. We're not exactly sure why when we mix lead and sulfuric acid it makes electricity. CEO's like, okay, figure it out.
Yeah. It takes time, but okay.
And the CEO's like, figure it out. It's like, okay, we need the funding. Okay, well, that's what they did with the internal combustion engine. It's the same. The guys that developed the lead, the putting lead in gasoline.
I don't know if that's how. I thought
Their issue was engines need to get better, but the issue was gasoline liked to ignite randomly when it was compressed.
So, when this was invented, I think it was done by private people, like people just as a hobby. I don't think it was like a big manufacturer. I think it was just somebody doing a hobby, trying to find a better way to do something. I don't think there was a big investor. That was commercially successful.
Well, it doesn't. Well, it's the same with. Same way with Edison started out with all the other stuff, it just turned into commercial.
Well, yes. But it's not like, it was people just doing something as a hobby and then stumbling upon something. That's how
right, but by the time that we're talking about it though, it would have been corporate. It wouldn't have been hobbies because there was no a hobbyist doesn't need to doesn't need to figure out how bonds between lead molecules work to figure this stuff out. No, that's not. They don't need to know that. They didn't need to know that. This is the reason why it's not Starlight. I don't know what the material's called, but this guy developed this amazing, supposedly, anyways, this amazing material that was a super great heat shield, would revolutionize the space industry potentially. Yeah. But he made it in his garage. He didn't need to know how to understand how it worked. He just did it. Well, now when he died, it's all lost, and now we can't. We're trying to figure it out, and it's like,
wait, what is this?
It's this material that it's incredibly light, super easy to make that we know of. You have to. Nighthawk and Light has a good video on it. It's star something. It's just this incredible material. We have ideas of what it might have been like. We don't know. The guy died and took the formula and the secret to his grave. He never wrote it down.
It's called what? Wait, what did you say the video?
Here, we can look it up.
Hi everyone.
Okay, now we're looking for a video. Okay. Paste. Star. It's not gonna work. Bingo! It is Starlight. Oh, it's just not. This is part 2. You need to watch part 1.
The last super material.
The Lost.
Oh, Lost.
Yeah, because the guy never wrote down the formula. He took it to his grave. Because, I don't know, the guy was kind of crazy who developed, in my opinion, he was kind of crazy. He didn't want to sell it to NASA or whoever so that it could be, used and developed. To be fair, though, honestly, we've developed materials that are kind of better than it now. But had we been able to use it back when, the guy came up with it, this is like back in the 70s or whatever, it'd been great. It would have been awesome. Could have revolutionized, the space shuttle would have been probably completely different.
Yeah.
But, like, the guy, big, stubborn, blah, 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 kind of, I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of people like that were absolute geniuses. I mean, like, Cavendish, the guy who weighed the Earth, essentially. He had journals on electricity and Coulomb's law in his journals when he died. And if you know anything about the history, so Coulomb...
Isn't Coulomb with a K?
No. Let's see. I want to know when he was born. Coulomb. So he was born 1736. Maybe it's not as big of a difference as I thought. And then so when he was born. Henry Cavendish. So he was born 1731. I guess they would have been alive at the same time. But he came up with Coulomb's law.
Before Coulomb?
Before Coulomb. But he never shared it with anyone. He took it to his grave in his journals. And then it was only afterwards Maxwell was reading through his journals and stumbled upon it.
See that kind of crap. Oh, God, it irritates me.
But he was a very, very shy fella. He would almost never talk to anyone except a small group of friends. And in order to get him to talk or something, you had to ask him a question. He wouldn't just randomly, spontaneously start talking to you. He also refused to talk to women. He had like a housemaid or something, and he refused to have any sort of interaction with her. And he had like a shed where he did all of his experiments and stuff.
He might have been autistic of some sort.
Yeah, probably. But yeah.
No, but it's just, that kind of stuff irritates me. Because it's like, you've got something that could revolutionize. I mean, obviously, it didn't lose us it really didn't lose us much time. Lost us a few years. Big whoop.
But the thing is that a lot of people were, scared to, throw their ideas out there because they didn't want someone else to start working on them and then take it further than they did. Like Newton, he came up with his, Principia laws and everything, gravitational laws in 1666 or something. And he didn't publish his Principia until like 20 years later. It's like 1687.
See, I mean, back then it made sense because, that's their livelihood.
Yeah.
I mean, it still makes sense now, but, like, I'm the kind of person where it's like, if you've got it, if you've developed something that could add to the human knowledge, the human collective, they could really change things, like, that needs to be out there. People need to be able to work on that.
But they want to do it themselves.
Right. I understand that. I get where they're coming from, but it's like...
Because they want to be the one to say, I discovered that. Because it also gave them a one-up on people who couldn't do it. Like, look what I've done. Because, like even think about math. Like, Greek mathematicians very rarely would share their ideas. Actually, maybe this is later, like 1200s or something. But they had... so the like professor, like the master mathematicians, people would try and have duels over solving math problems, and when someone came upon some trick or whatever,
well, they talked about that in Vertassium's video.
Yeah, but this is even before that. People, because I guess I learned about this in high school. Huron came up with this formula for quickly solving the area of a triangle only knowing the side lengths.
Side, side, side.
Yes. What? Yeah, side, side, side. Because traditionally it's base times height times a half is the area. But if you don't know the height and you only know the side lengths, it becomes a difficult problem, especially if they're not equal. You know, it's a scaling triangle. It becomes more difficult to solve the area. Well, he found a quick and easy, simple formula. And he never shared that because he didn't want people to take that formula from him and then be able to one-up him.
Right.
And so people kept that secret.
He kept side, side, side for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't really give a crap about side, side, side.
It's actually quite useful because, I mean, I've done calculations and stuff where it was actually very useful.
I just make right triangles.
No, but you can't make a right triangle out of it if you don't know the height.
Oh, well, no, anything I try and do, I purposely make right triangles.
Yes, but you don't know the height, though.
Well, no, I mean, yes, there are situations where, yeah.
And so, yes, all the time, I've stumbled upon situations where I cannot make a right triangle. Not like creating things, like trying to solve problems.
Oh, see, I'm not solving problems. I'm trying to create things. When creating things, I can do what I want. I can change the parameters. Oh, look, I'm gonna have to figure out a scaling triangle. Pass. We'll just brute force it and completely change the design, do a right triangle.
Yeah.
Anyways, new segment time. Even though that probably could have counted as a